Are your outdoor portraits not coming out the way you envisioned? Don't worry, you're not alone. In this video, we'll explore 5 main reasons why your photos may look off and how to fix that. Reason number 1, poor lighting. One of the main reasons why the portraits outdoors may look a little off is just bad lighting. It's either the harsh midday sun that's making your portraits not look the best, or just too little light. I see that all the time with people posting their underexposed photos, and I find that underexposed photo makes the portrait really unappealing. So instead of that, aim for shooting either at the sunset to get a beautiful rim of light, a very warm and soft and appealing type of lighting, or go for those overcast, soft lighting days. But remember to set your exposure right so your portraits in the end don't turn underexposed. Number 2, busy backgrounds. Another reason why your portraits may look a little off is due to the distracting backgrounds. Busy environments, cluttered backgrounds take the attention away from your subject. Instead of that, pay attention to what you have in your backgrounds. Make sure that those backgrounds are either far away from your subject so they blur nicely, or that they are not cluttered. I personally always like to have something in the background to tell a little story of my photo, but I pay a lot of attention to the number of the details there. Number 3, incorrect composition. Composition plays a crucial role in the success of your photos. Instead of placing your subject dead in the middle of the frame, try to play a little with rule of thirds or golden ratio or other interesting way of composition. Here on this channel, I created a video some time ago about composition rules, and if you want to check that one out, I will link that in here in the description box. You may also experiment with different angles, shoot from underneath, shoot from above. Make sure that you're always changing that. Make sure that your model is not close to the edge, it has enough space around the subject. Make sure that you don't crop too tight or that there's not too much space around your subject. Those things might be difficult to master at the beginning, but as you go, you will start noticing how composition affects your photos. Number 4 is color. For me, color is a crucial thing. Whenever I see myself scrolling through somebody else's Instagram feed, if the color in the photos is looking nice and pleasant, then I'm immediately drawn into the photos. So to master color in your photos, first of all, make sure that you understand what a color wheel is, where to find it, and how to use it. And my personal advice is to start slowly. Try to have your models wearing very neutral clothes for the shoots. And when you're choosing outdoor locations, make sure that there is not a lot of color in there. So you can have the green foliage, for example. You can have a blue sky. You can have one color flowers in the photo. And then combined with a neutral outfit of your model, you're going to get a really nice color tone. At the beginning, where you're not sure about your colors, do not try to go wide with the amount of color in your photo. Start low with maybe 1 or 2 colors in your photos, and then maybe with time you will expand. But if you start with too many colors at the beginning, you may have a problem of having them work together in a nice harmony. From my personal experience, I found that creating that neutral looking wardrobe for my models worked the best for me, because I always had something from my own clothing to put on the children, and not worry about the things that they were wearing that are going to ruin my vision of the colors in my photo. And the fifth thing is something that I see sometimes with my students. They're coming to me and asking why their photos look a little off, and it turns out that they usually don't use the right settings. They either go for the automatic mode, which sets the aperture to a very high f-stop number, therefore the background doesn't blur and the model doesn't stand out, and I think that it's better to blur background a little for the model to stand out, or the shutter speed is too long. With too long shutter speed, what you're getting is a little bit of that blur or movement in the photo that the photos don't look very sharp. You're not getting the full quality of the photo just because your settings were off. So for me, my personal advice, if you're shooting outdoors, invest in one of those prime lenses that is like 135 or an 85mm lens. It can be 105, it can be 70 to 200. One of these with the setting of around 2.0 if that's possible, if not 2.8 will be fine. I usually don't shoot all the way wide open, so I don't go to 1.4. Instead of that I usually go to 2.0, 2.2 to get a little bit better detail. Once I set my aperture, the second thing that I set is my shutter speed. I always make sure that the shutter speed number is higher than the lens I'm using. So for example, if I'm using 200mm lens, I would not go below 1/200 of a second. I would have to have the shutter speed shorter than that. So it can be 1/500 of a second. That allows me to hold the camera steady when shooting in that time frame when the photo is taken. Therefore, my photos are not going to be shaky. And the third thing I'm adjusting is ISO, and that's the last thing. Once I can't go any lower with my shutter speed because I know that will be too long and the camera shake is going to show, then I actually rise up my ISO. So I actually did a full course with Expert Photography on how to master all those things. You will see how I prepare the shot, how I choose the props, how I choose the clothing so that the colors are right. You will see me setting my cameras, choosing backgrounds, and everything that's important to create a beautiful outdoor and also indoor portrait. So if you're interested in this one, I will link it down below. And I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!